It's totally what they had intended.
I mean, this. I mean, listen. I know it's going to be bad. I didn't know it's going to be this bad.
The fact that it trended on Twitter is enough to tell you.
But a good evening to each and every one of you. I'm OB1. Welcome to the OB1 Show, episode 11. And join me tonight is my man, my brother, Sanjeko3. Sanjeko, what's going on, bro?
Oh, not much. All kinds of crazy ass shit. You know what this game is about.
Actually, apparently we don't, seeing as that there is a lack of information going on. But yeah.
Oh, there's information going on now. Twitter's proof enough that it had some information.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad.
Bugs and
It's
glitches
trending
and,
a certain way.
hair going crazy. Again, the only thing so far.
Ref getting
What's that?
ref getting essentially a blowjob, upside down one.
Hey, this is a PG show, damn it.
I know. And I know your initials. So I even know it is a PG show.
But yeah, given what happened
Did you say
today,
PUBG?
what are your thoughts on the current state of WWE 2K in general?
From what I've seen of the videos and obviously the many glitch videos that they've shown, maybe the glitches aren't doing the actual game justice. I'm gonna be fair and balanced on that. I don't know, but obviously I'm not buying the game, especially after what I've seen. I haven't seen a wrestling game be that glitchy in a long time.
Going back to
whether at launch or post launch. I mean, my goodness, man. This is. Look, there's comical glitches, and then there's glitches that you say to yourself, man, didn't NBA Live shut down for 2.5 years because of this?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be, originally it was NBA Elite 11. And then you saw the Jesus pose and the T pose and all that stuff, and yeah, this is.
I'd be a Jesus.
That was going to be bad, but I think this goes beyond Madden levels.
Making his way to the ring from
Oh yeah, it's worse. Way worse. Madden in its current state right now isn't even this bad. I don't know what other game out there is this bad. In terms of so many bugs at launch, in terms of so many issues that haven't been resolved, but most importantly, what we've seen already of the game is bad enough. I had a small exchange, a one-sided exchange, with Ryan Satin, and I told him essentially to paraphrase myself. Based on what I've seen of this game, it's a hard pass. And he did a whole quote tweet of my reply to his many thousands of followers, and essentially bashed me for I guess he thinks I hate the game, or he hates that people are hating on the damn game, and he enjoys it every year, he buys it every year, and he has to go through it every year, and that if you don't like it, don't play it, and go play Fortnite. Now, just like, I wasn't even being mad at you about it all. I'm just telling you what I had seen. Respect that you want to play something that you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying what I've seen.
Are you watching my stream right now? Because
Not currently,
I
no.
cannot see what the damn. But then again, it's a high school gym, so.
Let me throw it on here.
Both of these competitors have so much resolve.
Is this live?
A minor miracle.
That should be live, yes. Okay, yeah, now I'm watching it.
That is just.
Yeah, I can't see what the damn either. My God. Now I can see, but
Yeah, it's just.
don't get me wrong. Like, it's okay if they want to have you start your character out in the boonies,
Mhm.
but or in these high school gyms or whatnot. But parking lot wrestling shows. But it's funny to think that this is the only place that Aunt Fandango can get work right now. It's so bad that he went back to NXT and said, you know what, I'm gonna have better chances of working here. And I can't blame him. Because at least with NXT, you gotta get properly booked.
I hope so, seeing as that they moved to 2 hours, but.
It's double the chance then.
Knowing
Because I'm willing to give
WWE,
Triple H
probably not.
I'll give Triple H the chance with 2 hours and not be able to fuck up NXT versus the shit show that is 3 hours of Raw. Dean Ambrose said it best. We're only an hour in. We have 2 more hours of this.
It's all over.
It's this, or John Moxley for those that want to be grammar Nazis. But yeah, no, that's bad. That just that one shot when I came in and that lasted for like a minute. That's bad, man.
Yeah.
Here is your winner.
I don't know what the oh god, it's back. Okay, I'm out of here. I can't even beat up Fandango, so I'm out of here, man.
Oh my God, yeah, it is back. Holy shit.
Here's to you, ref. If is that the bird? Hold on, let me. There we go. I'm out of here.
So yeah, no, that's terrible. Not even 2 seconds into viewing the stream. And I don't even want him, man. Yeah, I got told last night at work that you gotta give things the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just like, I am no longer the guy. I tried to give things the benefit of the doubt, and you know what got me screwed. So
Yeah, but at the same
we're
time,
past the stage.
Ukes didn't screw 2K. 2K screwed 2K. I mean, with Ukes leaving immediately, I would have somebody like Brian or Lionel to come out and say, "Hey, my apologies for the lack of information. We are currently under development for 2K20. It might be some time for we seeing a preview or a trailer, probably until Royal Rumble time, maybe on WrestleMania time. But we apologize for your convenience. We'll keep up to date with all information with 2K20." And that alone, that would be someone a good excuse.
So much better. Just anything like, even if it's a delay.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm perfectly
a delay
fine
can still be beneficial. Like you said, come out around like the Royal Rumble time. That's January.
Mm-hmm.
Or at worst, early February.
Mm-hmm.
That's an additional couple months to clean up some of this BS that is in this game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it wasn't launch ready. And, maybe they could come out and say, oh, well, that's just a bad copy, or those are just some bad copies. Well, there's a lot of bad copies.
Especially with the digital download, but
I mean, this is your game that you mass produced. So either someone there is sabotaging your game, or someone didn't fix the game. Because it didn't trend on Twitter for nothing. Fix WWE 2K20.
but I think it goes on beyond that. I think it's fix WWE 2K in general, because again, when you have a rip telling you, what the hell is that? Telling you about a patch update, and he's imaginary, and you would rather have somebody like, oh, I don't know, maybe a Walter or a Leo Rush on your roster than a fucking rip.
There's so much that has to happen in that game. And it's beyond a physics standpoint at this stage of the game.
I agree.
Now it's just a.
It is so beyond physics.
It's beyond a fundamentals thing. Game.
It's so beyond physics. It's so beyond fixing their submission system, fixing momentum, fixing all these things that
It's beyond the fundamentals too. At this point in time, if that game can't play even the basic stuff right, like I said, you could have delayed that thing. Said, it's not ready. And you know what? Some gamers might get mad, but a lot of them will respect that. Because I guarantee you that most of the time that a developer says that we need more time with the game to polish it and make sure it's right. That way, when it comes out, you're happy with it. It's clean. It's working right. We noticed that there was some bugs in there that would have prevented you from having a good experience at launch. So unfortunately, we can't release in 3 weeks. We're gonna have to delay it by 2 months.
No, and I'm pretty sure that most people will understand that.
Yeah, I mean, if this take a Bethesda for an example. If Bethesda said, okay, we're launching the next Elder Scrolls on November 29th, and come November 1st, they noticed, oh shit, this game isn't ready. We just noticed a bug that's absolutely screwing up all the game. It deletes your save and everything, and we can't pinpoint where it's at. The answer is that, well, let's just launch and fix it post-launch. The answer is, let's delay it. Sucks that it is, but we gotta delay it, put out a statement, and let's get to work. And so, like you mentioned earlier, in that case, Bethesda will come out and say, hey, so we noticed we had some issues with the new Elder Scrolls, and that it is absolutely gonna be an excellent, awesome experience, but right now it's got something that is causing some major defective issues right now, so we cannot in good conscience release this. And it's beyond upsetting you. It's, for me, it's as the publisher, as the developer, as the spokesperson, we cannot in good conscience release this in this state. We want you to be able to share your passion for Elder Scrolls with us. We want you to be able to share your excitement of this new Elder Scrolls adventure, and we're excited to see You know, you send us your feedback, send us your videos, your photos, your streams. We're excited to see that, but we can't do this yet. So until it's fixed, we're gonna be delaying it by roughly 2 months. I doubt we'll have to delay it 3, but 2 months is likely the date. Once we get closer to an idea of when it's gonna be fully ready to go, we're gonna give you a date, and we're gonna launch on that date. And to tide you over in our current games, we're gonna be giving everybody an extra boost, or we're gonna give you a special item, you know, whatever to tide them over. But you put out some kind of statement like that.
Mm-hmm.
Show that you care about the game and its release, and the competence of that release more than you do immediate cash flow or some small negative PR hit, because it's small in comparison to you releasing a game and you see something like that trending on Twitter. Fix Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather hear in your executive meeting with the board of Bethesda, if you're in their shoes? Yeah, we have to delay the game by 2 months, or everybody's saying that the game is broken. But when they mention that the game is delayed, well, you say to your person on the board, hey, well, we've already got a PR person putting out a statement right now. You give them the early draft, or you give them the final draft of the PR statement, and you move on.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to work, like you said. You don't just release the game all willy-nilly and say, hey, it's bare for all to see.
That's a Batista bomb? That was bullshit.
If it went through the ring, that's probably almost accurate. Or at least in Batista's mind.
No, no.
Batista bombed him through the ring.
No, it was basically
in this game, it can actually happen.
It was a low-ass sit-down power bomb. So yeah, no impact.
Yeah, you just... There just has to be an accountability to these games. And like I said, I don't hate on WWE 2K without love, because I love wrestling games. I mean, some of the wrestling games that I've played been an absolute trip. It's been fun.
WrestleMania 19,
hours
the Day of
consuming.
Reckoning games.
It's yeah. I even mentioned to Ryan Satin, who hasn't responded to me since I quote tweeted his quote tweet of my reply. As I said, you know, if you're gonna quote tweet me, I'm gonna quote tweet you. Tongue twister. But I mentioned that, you know, I haven't had fun in a wrestling game really since WWE 2K20. And
yeah,
even going all the way back to something like Day of Reckoning. You know, I enjoy wrestling games. But with any game that comes out, I don't care if it's sports related, it could be something, you know, I would be the same critical of a game if The Last of Us came out broken. If Last of Us Part 2 comes out next year, early next year, and is broken as all hell at launch, I'm going to be the same critical thinking person I am about that as I would for this WWE 2K20 launch, or for Madden launch, or for any fucking launch. Because that's how you're supposed to be. Yes, you're supposed to enjoy the games. But if the games aren't working right to begin with, how can you enjoy the games to the full intended effect?
exactly.
If you took a bite out of your burger and noticed that there's a huge frickin' booger in there, what would you do? Just eat around it? Take it out and just say, I just need to put some mayo right there. That'll take out any taste of it. No, you wouldn't eat that damn burger. You can go right back to where you got it and say, hey, there's a burger in my freaking a booger in my freaking damn burger. The hell is this? What kind of place are you running? I'm gonna call the health inspector right now. This is disgusting. It's gross. I want my refund. I want to talk to your manager. Where's your manager? You'd be all in a freaking uproar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my kid could have eaten this. What if my kid got sick from this? And rightfully so if you got that pissed off. But instead, you're act like with Satin, you know, and other people like him. It's like they want you to just stop complaining about it because it's not helping it. If they don't know that we're upset about it, how's it gonna help? They're just gonna think we're mindless sheep, just like Vince thinks we are, and that we forget what they did 2 weeks ago, much less 1 week ago, or that we forgot what happened 10 years ago because he thinks we're stupid.
You know, and I think it all comes back to listening to the community.
As an example. As an example, Vince wants us to believe that essentially Lana's a cheating whore, and is always going to cheat on Rusev. That's essentially what he wants us to believe. And you know, that's Vince. But with the game, you know, we gotta be critical about it. We have to speak up about it. If there's something wrong, the developers need to know. And if the developers truly care, they'll fix it. Or, if they're not handcuffed, they'll fix it. They'll fix it. We'll see which is the case. The floor is yours.
Alrighty then, well, no highlights. So, yeah. No, I just think, again, it's just a lack of communication. Because, again, nobody didn't have an update about a patch except for, you know, RIP people, I guess. You know, 2K didn't announce a patch. WWE Games didn't announce a patch. And I guess that's what it comes down to, the lack of communication, which I've been saying for years. Along with many other things that you can address towards the gameplay. Because again, first and foremost, I'm always a gameplay person. You know, if somebody would rather have about or talk about, you know, the Creation Suite or WWE Originals, which is probably going to be a letdown. But
and don't get me wrong, I like new content. I like that they want to introduce these other type of like unique arenas and characters. That's cool. That's fine.
It's dope.
I have no problem with that. But it's something, and that's fine. I'd rather you try to give me something substance or something new that you maybe haven't done, or whatever. You know, that's fine. But you know, how has that made the game better?
Exactly.
How has that fixed the core issues? It's all fine and dandy if you fixed some of the core issues and you say, well, we didn't have enough time to fix all of them, but here's what we were able to address. And while we were at it, we had a separate team working on some new content for the game, making sure that we keep progressing and giving you more avenues to enjoy the game and enjoy your characters and enjoy something that we've made ourselves. That's cool. That's fine and dandy, you know. It's just so long as there's progress being made. It's just like with Madden for me. If they were improving the franchise so much that, you know, you could look to progress and say, hey, here's some actual progress. You know, I'd be able to say, cool. You know, I can get behind progress. I can buy this.
Mm-hmm.
But without progress, it's just like, to me, you know, oh cool, you added archetypes in, and cool, you put the you gave us a living character and coaches and such on the screen.
Oh my
Not coaches,
god.
coach on the screen. Gave us a locker
What the
room.
hell
Awesome.
is this? It's bad enough that Hogan is beating me with the bat. The way that the do-rag is, let me tell you something, brother. That's going to be horrible.
Don't make me come back in there.
So, 2K, can
Oh
you
my God.
explain that?
I mean, I just, I don't want wrestling or men to feel arcade, you know. If I want arcade, I'll go to an actual arcade, or I'll play a mobile game or something like that, you know. It's, if it's on a console at this point, you know, it should be trying to exceed expectations, and this isn't anywhere near expectations. Am I offended by having a big head mode like that? No.
My thing is, it's not
Again.
for me. I mean, you can have the option of having
Yeah,
big heads, but again, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, sure, that's cool to have something casual like that. I have no problem with that. It's not, like you said, it's not for me either. But, you know, I'm not going to diss them for having it in there, period. Again, content is better than lack of content. Now, content without purpose is worse than having lack of content too. If you're just throwing content at a problem without fixing it, that's a way bigger issue and takes longer to explain. And obviously takes longer to fix because then you can say, well, look at all these great numbers we have.
what
Like
numbers?
Madden is with MUT. Like, look, I don't play MUT. I like MUT. I like the idea of MUT, and, you know, I'm happy for them that it's generating them revenue. Because as a business person, I can see why they are pushing a lot of content, or they're pushing that mode a lot. As a business person minded, or just understanding it from a business perspective, I can get that. That's not hard to see. However,
What the shit?
when you credibly ignore the rest of the game, essentially, to support that one mode, you've essentially created a Madden game just for MUT alone. And if that's the case, create MUT as a game by itself. And I bet you that a lot of those same players in MUT would still pay for that game. And you would generate more content, and more money, and more revenue.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because I'm sure, I'm absolutely sure that if they made MUT a separate game by itself, that it would still sell. And in a lot of cases, those same players would double dip. Buy the MUT game and then buy Madden itself. Because then, at that point, you'd have them explain to the players that, you know, MUT has become so big in our community in Madden that it's gotten bigger than the game itself. And, you know, we don't want to disrespect Madden's history by forgetting our roots. So in order to overcome that and to respect all of our awesome and excited players from Madden, we're gonna separate MUT from Madden, because You deserve a team that's going to be 100% focused on this mode that you've come to love and cherish as much as we have in making it. You know, they've got various games that have done this. I mean, look at how big Fortnite is. Fortnite is so big that they made Fortnite Battle Royale for free. They put that out as a separate entity for free. And you know what? Fortnite is still selling. And it's still getting played. And it's still up there in the upper echelons of gaming right now. And I'm sure if you took a 5-second look at the top 10 streams on any given streaming platform, that it's probably dominating the majority of that number. If it can work for them, why can't it work for you there? I don't want MUT to go away. I don't want MUT to downgrade itself to, be acquiescence or whatever the hell word you want for it to make the franchise better. That's not what I'm asking for. It's not what I want at all. Because, if I was the reverse and franchise was getting more development than MUT, I would want the same thing. But the thing is, in reality, franchise has been around longer than MUT and will be around longer than MUT ever will be. And that game was built on the foundation of exhibition and franchise mode. You can't go and do a 16-game season and playoffs in exhibition so you can grind for a Super Bowl with your team of choice.
He's going to want to make sure he saves every minute of this match for his personal highlight reel because he was on fire in this one.
Just to bring the conversation back to wrestling.
Thank you.
You're welcome. With wrestling, with WWE, we need to have things working. We can't just add into the game without fixing something. How is that helping the problem? And if the answer is, well, it's an annual game and we can only fix so much, then take it off of being annual. How is this so hard?
Right. I mean, again, I don't mind taking a year off and fix the bugs, added more matches, bring back a Road to WrestleMania.
You literally have something called a season pass.
Use it.
What seasons is there? There is no season pass. It's every year, $30. Is it not?
Yeah.
But every year, we get something called a season pass, which includes all the characters for the most part, because it doesn't always come with all the characters that gets released, despite it being called a season pass. Comes with an accelerator, which unlocks everything. And nowadays it comes with VC. That probably gets rarely used in wrestling games. But you literally have it built into the system already. Do a season pass. A new season comes out. Season 2 of WWE 2K19. Season 2 of WWE 2K20. Whatever the hell you want to call it. Do a season 2 of the season pass. Give your developers time to work on the game. It's not like they're not working on it annually. Still, they're still working on it. It's just they're working towards a semi-annual or biannual release. And I think that would do them better. A biannual release gives them more time, a bigger window, less pressure to get things done in that small time frame. And you still can have them pushing out content for the current game. And it's not like the fans wouldn't be able to accept that. They would understand ultimately that we need to do some more work on a game, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop giving you more game. Because we got more coming for you. We've got more matches coming for you, more arenas coming for you, more characters coming for you. We've got a whole bunch of stuff more coming for you in this game that we needed more time to develop it for this game while we're developing that game. That we're giving you a season 2.
So you can't throw Razor Ramon into fire. Alrighty then.
You know, it's not rocket science.
Well, to 2K, I think it is. So.
I'd say, and I have said the same thing about Madden. And I would say the same thing, and I have said the same thing about 2K basketball. If you need an additional dev cycle year to clear some stuff up, fix some stuff up, do it. 2K, NBA Live, like you said, which was going to be NBA Elite in a rebranding, recognized and they heard the fans' uproar at the state of the demo for Elite. And it was so negative and so bad that they scrapped the game entirely and went back to the drawing board. They listened. And when they realized that they listened, the fans didn't get mad. And what has happened since NBA Live came back with their original branding? The game was getting more progressively better. Fans were of the game and new fans were coming into this series getting happier about it because they saw progress. Sure, the game still had more things to fix, but given 2.5 years to work on it, and then more dev cycles after that to continue working on it and making it better, it was almost already at the level that 2K was at. That people were saying, man, this is pretty much better than 2K. Now, maybe it doesn't take 2.5 years to get the next wrestling game right. Or even the next Madden right. Maybe it's less. But take the investment in yourself, in your team, into the product that you invested in, that you bought the rights for, and own it. Nobody else is doing what you're able to do. Own it. That's all I'm asking. Own it. You do that, and you shut out all the noise. And you go from people saying hashtag fix WWE 2K20 to maybe a happy silence. Or instead of it saying fix WWE 2K20, it's WWE 2K20. Now, maybe it's so good that fans chime in everywhere, worldwide. I love WWE 2K20. Now, maybe it starts a movement. You don't know. But you take that investment in your product. and make something of it, and you own it. Whether it has faults, whether it has the highest success of any game that you have in your catalog, you own it. Like NBA Live did. They owned that shit, and I give EA all the credit for that because nobody else did that in a sports game. They went away and came back and made a better game for it. I can't say that about anyone else. Sure, there's been other game types, adventure, shooter, whatever, RPGs, you name it, that have delayed their game by an extra year to get their game right. But in the sports world, what other example do you have? I can't think of any. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are plenty that I just never noticed, that never got attention. But this, let's consider the timing of that. NBA 2K11 was coming out. And NBA Elite was launching, like you mentioned earlier, Biggie. They had a whole new branding. And one noticed that it was in an entirely unlaunchable state and did something about it. And this wasn't like months in advance of its release or a year ahead of time. This was what, weeks? At best, weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And they shelved the entire thing. That's a lot of money they lost. They could have still released that damn thing. And just threw it out in the wild and skipped over it to the next one. Like many would normally do. Like they are currently essentially doing. But the people at EA, the NBA developers for it, did the right thing. They took it aside and said, this isn't what we should be launching. We can't be proud of this going out at retail price, at any price. Essentially, they said, how can we call ourselves developers if we put this out in this state? And eventually they scrapped the entire thing. They didn't launch the next year with a more fixed up version of it. They didn't come back with NBA Elite 12. It didn't come back to what? NBA Live 14?
15.
15. So, I mean, it skipped years. But they did the right thing. And that's the important thing. The most important part of this process is that you do the right thing for your series, for your game, for the game rights that you invested a lot of money in. I'm sure other developers would have wanted. But you got it. And 2K got, I'm sure they got the rights to this from THQ on a bargain in comparison to, you know, what it would take to probably get the NBA rights right now. Or any other similarly popular sport in the sense of WWE. Even if it's not wrestling, if it's something at the same, like, viewer height or something. There's just got to be something else that they can do.
Start from scratch will be one.
That's what I would do. Like I said, you don't have to abandon the current game that you just put out. You don't have to abandon your fans and say, well, everybody, we're going to take a hiatus. You can tell them, guys, we're gonna do something that nobody's ever done with wrestling games. We're gonna change the way that you think about WWE 2K. We're gonna change the way that you see matches, the way you see entrances, the way you see your favorite characters, and the way that everything has been. We're gonna revolutionize this game. But to do that, we're gonna have to take a step aside and not just go back to the drawing board. We're gonna reinvent this drawing board so much that when we come back with it, you're gonna think you've never seen anything like this before. But most importantly, this will change your life as a gamer, because you'll never see wrestling better in a video game than this. What's it going to take to get an answer like that? Is it going to take hashtag fix WWE 2K21 and 22 and 23 coming out?
Probably.
On Twitter? Is it going to take a whole new developer than 2K? They sell the rights to freaking Activision? Or some other developer? You know, I want to see what happens. They need competition that nobody's going to be able to get. They don't have a Pro Evolution Soccer coming around the corner. They don't have their own version of NBA Live coming. There's no other wrestling company out there with a video game that's coming out that is anywhere close to this, in the sense of graphics, physics, and names, and marketability. There's none. The closest is Fire Pro Wrestling. And Fire Pro Wrestling is, I'm sure, great, but is it visually on a level that the current state of wrestling is with WWE 2K? No, it's unfortunately not. And that's why I've excluded it from that list. But there's not going to be any competition coming out. There's no one to push them. There's no one to give them the fear of God that they so desperately need. That Madden desperately needs. Though at least with Madden, they have indie football developers that are making some headway. Some real headway. But can you really say the same thing about wrestling? No, you can't. Like I said, Fire Pro Wrestling's the closest one you have to it. But even that's miles and leagues away from anything that WWE 2K can put out. Even on its worst day, WWE 2K still doesn't have any competitors. Hell, their mobile games probably are closer competitor than these other mobile game, other wrestling independent games like Fire Pro. And that's sad, because competition drives success. No matter what sport, no matter what industry, you drive each other to do better. And it's throughout human history, throughout evolution history, throughout every species' history. There's always competition, and you improve with that competition. Though in some cases, with some species, if you lose the competition, you might get eaten alive or disavowed or what have you. But the point of the matter is still that there's competition throughout everything. And wrestling doesn't have that. Not a peep.
You build momentum. You look for victory. Every superstar is trying to do that when they step in the ring. He's just dominating at this point.
Over the years, we've come to expect these bursts of greatness from him.
Oh, flipping the script on him there. Oh, no. Reverse DDT. What's he got in mind? Again! And a test here for Edge. He has to formulate a plan quickly to get things going.
He'll think twice before entering another Extreme Rules match. High crossbody.
These superstars have endured so much punishment.
Certainly looking worse for wear, but the tide can shift at any moment.
He's going for it all. Oh, an elbow drop. Oh my God, flipping pile driver.
Doesn't appear to be Edge's night tonight. Oh man, Edge doesn't even know where he is.
Take one more look back at this incredible display of brutality.
Yeah, I just think it just comes down to direction.
Back in from the floor.
It does, but
Set up for a second
it's all in the execution,
driver.
and it's not getting executed.
A second spot on the highlight reel. This could be it.
Cover for the win.
This game is one Sin Cara botch away from.
Edge is showing the
Oh wait, never mind.
he is.
They have that in the game. they, they actually put a Sin Cara botch in there. I can't even say it now.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure if it's part of Universe mode, but
Now with complete control.
Don't get me wrong, it's entertaining as all fuck, but you know, it's I typically do say that it's one Sin Cara botch away from breaking the entire thing, and I think we're getting there finally.
no, I think we all are ready there.
Down a little. It's nothing he hasn't been through before.
Great reflexes. Saw what he had in mind there.
Incredible. There was a lot of force behind that one. Incredible. There was a lot of force behind that one. He's got the shoulders down. Interesting decision here, Corey.
I don't know. I kind of like it. He clearly wants to inflict some more punishment.
I think we're about to see a high-risk move from the top rope.
Oh my gosh, what a dive.
Edge is he could pin his opponent right here. 1, 2. I don't know how he keeps kicking out.
I am in shock. What's it going to take to keep this guy down?
I don't know. I pretty much talked myself out of it. So, what you got for Biggie? Because I know you've seen more of this than I have.
No. Can Can you put down the Kindle? I said put down the Kindle stick. What the hell?
Kick right to the gut. Oh my God. Quick cover from Edge. No, they're not done yet. Not even close. Remarkable. There it is.
No, but there were things about refunding 2K20 and that type of stuff. I don't know. I just think it's just a
Really relying on that tonight.
complete mess.
Look at this. Beautiful Northern Lights suplex. Beginning of the end.
And I don't know what it takes to fix this, because this is just bad all around. And again, it goes so beyond fixing physics and the submission system and all that stuff. So do I have resiliency? Apparently not. So whatever. Oh, there it is.
The ultimate opportunist.
I'm not easily impressed, but even I thought that match was one of the best I've seen in a while.
Highlight for one superstar, low light for another.
Here is your winner, the Rated R Superstar, Edge!
Edge picks up the victory here tonight. The ultimate opportunist figured out a way to win here tonight. Don't adjust your TV, folks. This Vegas crowd really is the...
Yeah, so we are closing in on an hour. Any final thoughts?
Sorry, mic fell out. As far as final thoughts, you know, I'm a believer that WWE 2K can make that game better. Because I've seen 2K do great with basketball. And even glimpses that they had with baseball before they gave up on that one. You know, I believe they can do it. But the onus is on them now. You know, it's not like you just got this game last year. You didn't just get the rights to it. And this is the game that was already slated to come out. It's not how this happened. This has been your game for quite a while now. You know, this isn't the time for rookie mistakes or this amount of bugs to be happening, especially this late in the dev cycle for a game that's been on this console for freaking 6 years, 7 years.
I think 6 years.
I mean, that's terrible, man, for an Xbox One and PS4 generation. It's bad. I mean, I would more understand this if this was the first year of the new Xbox and PS cycles.
And his opponent, representing the
Because
Rock and
it's a new console.
Action.
Bugs are going to be expected to happen because it's essentially brand new from scratch, essentially, for the most part. But this late, nah. No, there's no excuse for this. Because if there is one, you blew it by not delaying it. And to make matters worse, you didn't really talk about it. Who doesn't talk about their game coming out? Who doesn't show enough content to get their gamers, their fan base excited about it? You can't just willy-nilly say, alright, awesome guys, here's the cover. Silence. Alright guys, here's some entrances. Silence. You know, you can't just do that. It doesn't work like that. And this launch is indicative of what you did. This is why all these popular YouTubers and Twitch or Twitter people or just social media in general are coming out and saying, don't buy this game. Because it's broken, it's bugged to hell, and I haven't seen a game this bad in a long time. There's a reason that it's not just one or two of them, it's a lot of them. You have even people that aren't known for wrestling gamers that just picked it up or got an advanced copy of it and said that this is terrible. That's not an accident. It's just not. Even if you say, well, you know, there's a couple of them that are gonna give us bad reviews anyway because that's their shtick. Okay, cool, great. Separate those couple from that. You still have a lot of people upset with this game that don't stream, that do stream but don't stream WWE 2K, that talk about games but they don't really mention WWE 2K at all, that are voicing their concerns, they're voicing their frustrations, and it's just not getting through.
So do you think that 2K needs change in a executive creator, you know, new community manager, just starting all over again for the next generation of consoles?
I mean, I don't know the community manager enough, or have a rapport, or follow the community manager as much as some others do, and I don't at all. But no matter who their PR person is, whether it's a community manager on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, their PR person, regardless, they should be hounding those devs for information. And the lack thereof of information is concerning. Because, I've said this before, with Madden, we get information months in advance. They give us dev diaries. They give us video. They give us, you know, streamers content of the game. They give us all this different information, and I can't knock them for that. And it's over weeks, and over the course of many days even, that you get this information from Madden and their devs. And you know what? That's better than whatever the hell 2K isn't doing. Because This ain't it whatsoever. This is terrifying. It's terrible. And it's troubling. You got the 3 T's there. And none of them are ones that you want to drink. And that's the reality of it. More information might have lessened this impact. But there's a lot more than that.
Exactly. I think it goes above the developers.
You know, this is just one of those matches you want to sit back, relax, and just take it in.
Again, I just think it's just terrible the way that 2K has marketed the game ever since Ukes left.
The tension, the drama. This is electric.
I mean, this is going to be the tail of the tape. Is when WWE 2K21 comes out next year. At the tail end of October. Has anything changed? Can you still say, well, that was Ukes' fault? That was a transitional game. This one was all us. And this is what we did. We hope you enjoyed this game. If it's a complete 180 or 360 from this game, then we'll know that it was Ukes. And if it's the exact same shit, we'll know that it doesn't matter. If it's Ukes or 2K, nothing changed. But the BS that they're spewing, whether it's from a community manager, whether it's from their PR person, whether it's from Donald fucking Duck, you know, it's gonna be indicative of what's changed or what hasn't. That's more what I'm looking forward to now, is to see what they do or don't do with 2K21. I've at this point I don't know if this game 2K20 is alive. I'm hoping that this is just a demo. This was just an early release. It's still in beta. Because if this is the final draft, oh man, they sure as hell treated it like one. And people have gotten fired for less. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully they listen, but at the same time, again, this is just going back to from experience of some ideas that, you know, could have been in the game today. I'm not sure if they will listen. I don't think that major changes are in the future. Again, I think it's just minor details and minor improvements without fixing, again, your cool gameplay, your foundation, you know. But again, hey, at least we got Winter Wonderlands and, you know, Fire Pits of Hell, and, you know,
Mankind is pulling out all the stops here. 6, 7, 8. Up and down. What a gourd buster.
that wasn't a gore buster. That was a throw over the top rope.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Just why commentary is usually off.
7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, bring the jeez.
But yeah, that's essentially my final thoughts. I may not have played the game,
Hardcore action.
but
You
from
know,
what I've seen,
you know.
He ain't messing around.
whether negative or positive, there's enough for me that
Gotta be honest with you. I'm kinda
I
glad the
say
match is over. He comes up with a
thanks,
W, it
but
was
fuck
very
no. Respectfully, I just cannot. I cannot put my money behind that. I'd rather go pay from Madden right now and buy 3 copies of it
Guys. Now, guys, we know mankind can suffer
than to get
ungodly amounts of
wrestling right now.
but tonight was too much for even him to endure. He struck
And that, coming from me, says a lot. I would sooner pay $165, $170, however the fuck much it is, for 3 copies of Madden than 1 of wrestling. Because if the answer isn't that, well, or if they say, well, it can't be done, then you didn't try. Because there's proof of other games out there that have proven that it can be done if you're willing to take the risk and invest in yourself. But not helping yourself is the issue. So it is what it is.
You know, maybe it's just the wrong direction. Maybe it is what the current direction is in games and wrestling video games, but not the direction in what, 2K vision. Like Towers mode. I don't think people want Towers mode. I think people want enhancements on Universe mode. Enhances on my career.
Hell, if I'm doing an online, I want an online universe mode. You know, I'm sick and tired of just doing matches online.
Mm-hmm.
I want an online universe mode where we're able to battle each other over the course of every year for titles and in feuds. I don't want that to be only a single player mode or a couch co-op mode. It's not impossible. It's not unfeasible. I mean, shit. All these other sports games have modes where you can play against your friends in the course of their respective sports season or league year, and all the corresponding moves and things that comes with it. But you can't with wrestling. How is that? And this isn't an issue that's just suddenly appeared in the last few years. It's always been like this. Since the other sports games discovered the ability, hey, yeah, we can go online and do this. You want to compete against your friend for the Super Bowl over the course of a 16-game season and playoffs, and do the draft and free agency and training camp and whatnot? You got it. You want to play for the NBA title? You got it. You want to play for the Stanley Cup? You got it. You want to play for the World Cup? FIFA? You got it.
The WWE Universe loves a last man standing match.
And I'm sure other games like lacrosse and rugby all have this feature, but wrestling does not.
Weeks, even months after a last man standing match, due to the total
And it's not just been a 2K issue, it's also been a THQ issue, a Ukes issue. Whoever you want to say, it's been their issue.
glass half full kind of guy, haven't you, Cole? Boom, running STO.
Because I can't blame one without blaming the others.
Impressive counter. Oh, what a drop kick on the mark. I'm no mathematician, guys, but by my calculations, a last man standing match is more than 3 times as brutal as a traditional match. After all, you only need to keep your opponent down for a 3 count in a traditional match. Both of these competitors have so much resolve, it's going to take a minor miracle to keep one of them down. It's the trash can. That'll leave a mark. Andre the Giant on the defensive here. He planned for this and could still rally. Oh, again! And the instinct from the Giant on display. An impressive series of moves.
Looks like nobody's budging, Cole.
Whacks him with the kendo stick.
I don't think he's done yet, Cole.
On the topic of traditional matches versus last man standing matches, Corey makes a great point. In matches such as this, you have to keep your opponent down for a count of 10, which oftentimes results in increased brutality and danger, Michael. Woo-wee. It's been some night here on SmackDown Live, and we're still rolling along. Bang, right in the face. He caught him slipping. It won't take long for the aggression to escalate quickly in this one. Andre the Giant knows how to polish off an opponent. Great agility there. There it is, Shining Wizard. Gosh. Last man standing match. Nobody's leaving this one as friends. 3, 4. These guys have to knock each other down to the point that their opponent can't get up. This match ain't over yet. And it's Andre the Giant getting out of that one. Incredible impact. He may be in a bad way here.
He's lost much of his early confidence.
And it looks like this one's going out to the floor. Pile driver.
Spiked him.
1, 2. This is a last man standing match, and the physical punishment has begun to take its toll.
5, 6,
What a match!
7.
And this match is going to continue. Set him up. Side Russian leg sweep.
Oh, perfect form.
1. These competitors are just trying to stay under control.
Now we have Andre the Giant on the attack.
Back now inside the ring.
Oh my God! Big pile driver, spiked. See ya. Thanks for coming. Flips like that end matches. It's that simple. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And this match is going to continue. Nice cross body. We knew we were in for something special between these competitors, but they are taking things over their own limits. Keep your eyes on this one.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Painful dive.
How in the world do these superstars have anything left at this point?
The arena's thinking the same thing. All eyes are focused on this moment.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay,
This
bring them
grueling
out.
last man standing match has finally come to an end.
And it just crashed. So, for Sancheco, I'm OB1. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yeah, this is going to be a long year. Sancheco, thank you for joining me this evening. And hopefully we can do this again. Hopefully sometime tomorrow, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see what, if anything, that they say in the aftermath of it all. Or we'll see how long it takes them to actually
Just to
to
respond.
say anything
Yeah.
at all. So that's gonna be fun to watch out for.
Yep. So, y'all take care. Maybe more content tomorrow with WWE 2K if the game doesn't crash. But until then, thank you. Take care. OB1 out.